We want to go through here, though. Because this guy, so it's Origin. So we get these 2 chests. Shinobi's Bird Lime and some money. That guy wasn't there before. That's interesting. And I don't think there's anything else in any of these rooms I particularly want right now. No. We're good. Okay, so now that I have the Kotetsu, by the way, that door is one way coming out. It's locked. And we can't go back in. So even if I kill those guys, I can't go back in. But I do want to use this storehouse key. I could have went back and got the, what is it? The, goodness. I could have went back and got the basement key that I'm fixing to go back, like, as soon as I got the warehouse key. But I really wanted to get the sword upgrade first, because getting the sword upgrade allows you to 2-shot these ghosts. And you notice there that killing those ghosts did not count towards my kill count. That lady right there, she doesn't count either. She's also a ghost. However, she's the one spawning these lost souls, so you do not want to... Don't even approach her, because if you get next to her, it starts a battle that you can't run away from. She's going to be how we level up, basically. So, don't face her. Just grab the items and leave. Alright, so it's back to River. And if you go back in there, lost souls respawn. You can kill those guys to your heart's content and get mad experience. Okay, so to get, if you're just going through the game, then you can kill that guy that opened the jail cell for us, and he'll drop the basement key. But I don't. Let's say I'm doing a pacifist run, and I don't want to kill him for the basement key. Well, you can come here, and there's a hidden door, and you can use a storehouse key, and basement key. Ooh. And run out. Now, killing that guy actually spawns a whole bunch of ninjas, and that is a very difficult fight if you haven't leveled up at all. But if you're going for like a murder, death, kill playthrough, you should be level 5 or 6 by this point, so it shouldn't be too difficult. One thing to note is if you are trying to kill everybody, if you pass any of the password checks, then you are permanently unable to fight those guys that you answered the password for. So just keep that in mind. Okay. Freaking mice. I hate those things. And we just scooch our way along here. So now we have the basement key. Back to Origin. Yeah, I have to say it out loud and then like have some kind of like representation of what the password is. Otherwise, I can't remember it. But we've got decent equipment now. I do prefer the Sujin's Tabby over the Genji's Tabby. 2 defense is a small price to pay for that speed up, because that raises the damage of Shinobi Slash. Blazing Firefly, by the way, and Water Arts are useless. What they do is they do okay, so Shinobi Slash is just like, it's just like Bash Bash. It's just a single targeting attack. It uses Obero's weapon as well as his speed stat to determine damage. Cross Slash hits everybody in a circle, so it's actually a pretty good skill compared to, say, that kick move. I forget what it's called. It's not Bang Bang. Whatever. So it actually has use. It's raised by it gets power from his speed stat as well. Blazing Firefly and Water Arts. Water Art does get some minor damage boost from his IQ, but Blazing Firefly doesn't get any benefit from any of the stats. Their main use is creating elemental tiles. So Blazing Firefly puts fire tiles all along the ground, and the Water Arts puts water tiles all along the ground. There is some utility in putting fire tiles on the ground because the Sujin's Tabi absorb fire damage from fire tiles. So you could put the fire tiles on the ground and then stand on them for some light healing. Alright. So, we are back here. And we are at a point where we want to grab these. Alright. I'll never be able to get that jar because she's in the way. That's okay. Alright, so just to give you a clue, we saw this guy earlier and I turned around, so this is where we're at now. There are multiple ways, it's back to River, there are multiple ways to get anywhere in this mansion. So, that's one of the things that makes it most interesting, I find. I actually want to go... Oh no! Yeah, so you can't get those chests just yet. River. Oh! No, screw you. And he kills them all. Yeah. If you talk to him, he will murder you. He's very, very difficult. But if you talk to this guy without killing anybody, he gives you 10 Castellas, which is very useful for taking on the super bosses. Very, very useful. And you could go into the ceiling here. This way right here is how you get to... as far as I can tell, if you run into those guys, they fling you in the hole and you end up in the thing. So, and they're almost impossible to avoid. So don't try avoiding them. What you do, I've found, is you use a grappling hook. You just avoid the dumb shit. Alright, to Origin. And what you would do if you're on a pacifist run, right, is you would go through this room right here. And I don't have a second grappling hook, but you can fight these guys without without raising your kill counter, because they're considered robots. So what I'm about to do here, don't do. I'm gonna try for this chest over here, because I've going down. I got to go back down to the basement for the next part. Nice. Okay, so this chest, this hole right here. Secret chest. Did I forgot? Oh, man. Oh, that's not a big deal. There's some footwear in there. It's not a big deal. I knew that hole was there, too. I still... Run away! So... the guy we've got to rescue is in this place right here. However, if you rescue him, you cannot finish the game pacifist. What happens, and you can get all the way to the final boss, is he breaks out himself, and he goes in and he scares away because he's got a gun. These guys are threatening with swords, and he comes in and says something along the lines of, "Do you want to try your sword against my gun?" And they just leave. So you don't have to fight them. However, if he's in your party, that doesn't happen, and you have to fight them, which means you get some deaths on your thing. So if you are going pacifist, do not do this. I would like to point out that the guy in the cell next to this, also very important. Okay, so it's back to river. That is Goemon. Goemon will refill chests for you. So this is one of the, this guy's optional. You actually do not fight him if you are going on a pacifist route. So what you have to do to beat this guy is you have to kill all of these souls. They're not difficult. 2 attacks with my new sword will do it. And you do have a time limit. They will all respawn after a short amount of time, so you need to kill them relatively quickly. It actually takes 3 attacks if you've got the if you didn't pick up this sword. So, Flame Arts is actually fairly useful. I think it does a little more damage than Shinobi Slash. Let me see. It's about the same, but it's got a much wider range, so you could just run in and do this. Flame Arts is, it has kind of low damage, but it has a really wide attack arc, and I just one-shot that. Okay, so before they respawn, let me go in my menu. Flame Arts, like I said, it's instant, has a really large attack range, and it is, even though it doesn't do exceptional damage, it does get a small damage boost from your IQ. But as you can see here, it's the way to go here because we're one-shotting the ghosts. Poison Mist does damage based on your speed. I don't have like concrete proof of this. Most attacks that do status effects actually do apply their status effects based on your IQ, but that one seems to apply it based on your speed. Which I guess makes sense because the damage of the skill is increased based on your speed. Okay. Alright, so now that we've done this, behold! So this guy, I'm gonna use these items on. I forget what the Shinobi's bird lime does. So we're just doing this because I don't really have any attacks that can attack him from this range, and the items do really good damage for pretty pretty much just this boss. Later on, we're going to have other attacks that will do much more damage. So to defeat this guy, you have to defeat all of the ghosts before you talk to him. And you get Maria's Veil, which is a really good piece of equipment, actually. And this guy falls down. This is the prisoner that we were sent to rescue. His name's Ryoma. Apparently, I don't know a whole lot about Japanese history from this era, but apparently he's a very famous figure. But they don't give you his full name at this point. No? And he is a very welcome addition to the group. So, first things first, let's put this on. And he has this Yoshiyuki. If you go through as a pacifist, he gives you your sword. So you can see it has he gives you his sword. As you can see, it has 40 attack power, so that's pretty good. However, we can find another one with 40 attack power, so I mean, whatever. And how many money do I have? I have 3 money. I need 1 more. So we're just gonna run past this guy. Also, there's the merchant enemies. There's a few of them running around. If you want to farm them, they drop a piece of equipment. I think it's an offhand. It's got intellect on it, so it's pretty good. It's a abacus, I think. I've never actually gotten it to drop, but I've never gone out of my way to get it either. So, oh yeah, Ryoma. So Ryoma starts at level 9, so that's pretty good, especially since we're level, what, 5? Yeah. Starts at level 9, and he doesn't learn any more skills. He starts with all 3 of the skills he has. He has Quick Draw, Wolfang, and Warning Shot, which are very long-range skills that use his pistol. And Polaris Single Blade, which is his most damaging move. It's a melee attack. So, Warning Shot can stun enemies, and Quick Draw Wolfang does some damage and lowers enemy stats. He's pretty good! So, before we go any further, we actually want to... actually, no, we want to go... Let's leave, because we want to go Origin. I'm not so worried about getting the password wrong anymore, because I have Ryoma. Early on, if you're not leveled up, and you're the guys that guard the doors and stuff and ask for passwords can be rather powerful and difficult to kill. So basically, if you want to do the pacifist run through, then you need to do... You need to go through where I pointed you before and not do any of the stuff where I said anything past this point. We have 5 ninjas. So these guys, this fight is suicide, basically, if you try to do it by yourself at low level. But we actually want to shoot this guy. Oh, I forgot that was a thing. It's not that big a deal. Just do this. So the ninja in the very back is the only real one. The rest of them are images, and if you kill the one in the very back, you get a thing called, what is it called? The other enemies, they break down. So we're gonna try and do that. Not particularly worried about getting the experience from this battle. Polaris single blade's pretty good. Let's just pass. Keep using that Polaris single blade. There we go. This mechanic actually becomes more important later on in the mecha chapter, because you'll be running into enemies that they're controlling a bunch of robots. Alright, so there's my first slain enemy. And I slained him to get that money and that Genji gauntlet. So the Shinobi Gauntlet has some speed on it. Just like the... what is it called? Just like the Sujin's Tabi, I prefer the Shinobi Gauntlet for the speed. However, since you don't really need the speed, you can have the Genji's stuff. So remember any chests you get Genji gear from? Because once you free Goemon, he fills them back up. He fills up chests that have money, Genji gear, and grappling hooks. So we actually want to avoid falling into the hole. I love how Oboro is like crawling on the ground all serious like, and Rim is like, nah, fuck that. And how he... Okay, so River. We will come back for this one when we get the traps turned off, I think. So this puts us in the jail cell, I think. Which means this is the room. No, this is not where I thought it was. This place is very confusing. My brain has a really hard time, like, parsing where stuff is sometimes, because all the rooms look the same. I actually want to get into